Didn't check that. Awesome. Let me check my phone to make sure we are actually live. You're jumping on. Say hello. Let's see here. Yay. Okay, so we are live. Awesome. So happy Monday. I am actually joining you live today through my Facebook group, Facebook page, Calculated Profits, and also my YouTube channel. So I hope that you guys are able to join me today. I apologize for not being live last Thursday. We were on vacation and we had horrible reception. So I've just shifted it to today. And of course, I'll be live again on Thursday. So I wanted to come on today to talk to you guys about the 3 most common mistakes. Excuse me, allergies. The 3 most common mistakes that I see in the financial world. So if you are just joining me, please say hello. And as a reminder, I am streaming live via StreamYard. So you do have to give StreamYard permission for me to see who is actually talking to me. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in here and say right from the beginning that there is no shame in this. I am not trying to make you feel bad by going over these mistakes. We don't do shame in this group at all. I am here simply just to help you to understand that there are some mistakes that I see on a common basis and how to fix those things. Most of you, when you became entrepreneurs, you didn't go through like an entrepreneurial school to teach you all about business finances. I mean, they don't even teach you anymore in high school how to balance your checkbook or how to create a budget, which I think is ridiculous, right? So first of all, you don't know what you don't know. So just take the things I'm telling you today. Don't create any shame or guilt around them. Just fix the problems. Okay. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to refer back to my notes a few times. But the first mistake that I see a lot of times is that entrepreneurs come in and they just completely avoid their finances altogether. So they quit their 9 to 5, they started a business, and everything's running really great, right? And they just feel lucky and they don't think about their finances. They have money in the bank. Every time they swipe that debit card, they never get a decline. So things are good. Life is great. And they just avoid them. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Anybody else here? I've been in those in those shoes before, and I'm even in the finance industry, but I have been there before, and it's not fun. It's not pretty. So please don't avoid your finances. So some symptoms of this are going to be that you really don't have a clue what's going on in your business. So if I were to ask you today, how much profit did you make for the first 9 months of the year? You would look at me like a deer in headlights and have no clue. Or if I ask you, what is the number 1 expense in your business? You would guess, but you really wouldn't know. Like, you could answer the question. You would say, coaching or my products or my light bill or whatever. But you really wouldn't know for sure that you were giving me the correct answer. That's because you've avoided your finances and they're not together. And you may just feel like something's not right. You know you should be doing them, but you just don't have the time. You put it on your to-do list every single week, and somehow the next Monday, it's still on your to-do list. I have things on my to-do list exactly like that. I completely understand. Okay. So, and then the last thing here is that you're making decisions based on just a feeling, not really actual numbers. For example, maybe you need a new laptop in your business and you just decided, okay, I'm going to go buy a laptop, but you don't consult with your books before you make that decision. So there should be a rule in your business. There's a rule in my business. There's a rule in my household that if you spend over X amount of dollars, you consult with the books. right? You consult with the budget. So, for example, in my business, before I would spend more than $300 on an item, I consult with my books. So I look at my financial statements and I see, can I afford this item? Does it make sense? Is it going to make me money? Those types of things. So if you don't have that set up, that's because you're avoiding your finances altogether. You just don't even want to think about it. Okay. So let's change that. Some things that you can do to fix the first mistake is that you can stop feeling guilty. And that's usually the first reason that most people avoid their finances is they just feel guilty. It's so far behind already. Here it is, almost November. I haven't even opened my first bank statement for 2021. You know what? Just forget about it. I'll worry about it next year. I feel guilty enough already. If I look into it, it's just going to make me feel worse. Well, you have to stop that. That is not a CEO mindset. And you are a business owner. You're a CEO of your business. You have to own that hat. You have to take control of your finances. So stop feeling guilty and then educate yourself. I know that most of you don't know about finance, and that's okay. You weren't taught that, but it's your job to learn. You're the CEO. And if you don't have a CFO in your business, then guess what? You're also the CFO too. So you have to stop only thinking about marketing, only thinking about the things that you really, really, really like to do, and you need to worry about your finances. Okay. So educate yourself. And please do not just Google search. Please do not YouTube search and believe everything that you see on the internet because a lot of it is not true. There's so much misguided information. It's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, it's on you. It's not on the person who you got the wrong information from. So educate yourself and then get your books caught up to date. If you haven't touched 2021, it's okay. Quit the mentality of I'll do it next year. You still have 2 months. Let's get it done. Let's see where you are. And then you can make plans for 2022. Okay. So get your books in order, get them caught up to date. And then the last thing on this is I want you to create a money date with yourself and your business, whether it be once a week, whether it be every other week, but no less than once a month. I want you to pencil in on your calendar a money date with yourself and your books. Okay. Maybe you're like me and I'll tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, and my husband and my children will tell you this is 100% me. If it's not on my calendar, it's not getting done. Okay. So on my calendar, I schedule everything. I schedule time that I'm spending with my family, time that I'm on calls with my clients, time that I'm working on my clients' books. You name it, it's on my calendar. But one thing for sure is on my calendar is my money date with myself and my business. So it's very, very important that I know where I'm at and how things are going so that I can tweak things right now. Because guys, if you are working on your finances once a year and that's only to stay in compliance, meaning only to do your taxes, you are not getting any benefit out of your books because you can't make any changes if you're working on your books a year later. Work on them currently, and then you won't have that problem. Okay. So number one mistake is avoiding your finances altogether. Just out of mind or out of sight, out of mind. So you can stop those things and I can help you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll be glad to help you. All right. I'm moving along to mistake number 2. This one I see also very, very often. So it's either one or the other. Either you completely avoid or you are using accounting software, but you're not using it properly. What do I mean by that? Well, QuickBooks is so easy. And I put easy in quotation marks because they advertise it that way. To them, QuickBooks is easy. You just have to go through and click a couple buttons and boom, your bookwork is done. Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you QuickBooks is not that easy, especially if you're not trained and educated in QuickBooks. And this is what I hated about QuickBooks for a long, long time. And I actually refused to use it in my bookkeeping business. And it was because there were so many clients that would come to me and they would think their books were great because they clicked the buttons in QuickBooks that QuickBooks told them to click, and everything disappeared, which means it was done, but it wasn't correct. So done does not always equal accurate. All right. So a couple of things on this one is it's easy. You click the buttons, right? Maybe you have everything synced. You have your bank account synced to QuickBooks. And so that means all of your transactions are coming through to QuickBooks from your bank feed, right? So when you swipe the debit card, you write the check, you make the deposit, it automatically shows up in your QuickBooks online. And you go through that. Maybe you go through it once a week. You are actually having your business meeting with yourself, and you check the box, and it comes up and it says Office Max, and it may say, oh, Office Max is office supplies, and you hit accept. And it comes through as a deposit, and that's revenue, you hit accept. And then Walmart comes through and it says that it's, I don't know, let's just come up with something. It says it's utilities. I know that's not right, but you hit accept. Okay. So now all of a sudden, all of your transactions are gone, right? You've accepted them. They're gone somewhere. But like I just said, it said Walmart was utilities. And we both know Walmart's never a utility. So it was done, but it wasn't accurate. And I see this very, very often. Another mistake in accounting software is a lot of you are in the service industry and you're accepting credit cards. Maybe it's through PayPal or Stripe. Well, the deposit that comes through in QuickBooks is going to show the amount after your fees. Well, that's not revenue. Your revenue is the total amount that you charged your client. And that's what should be reported. So the revenue should be reported as revenue, which you charged your client, minus the fees that PayPal or Stripe charges you. And that's how it should be recorded. But QuickBooks doesn't know that. It only knows how much was put into the bank. So I see that a lot. Credit card fees are not being accounted for. So what's going to happen when you go to file your taxes is it's going to show your revenue. I'm just using numbers here, okay? After what comes into your bank account after the fees were, say, $4,500 for the year. But really, you collected $5,000 and $500 was fees. I know that's a big fee number, so just go with me, okay? So the Stripe is going to report $5,000 to the IRS that you received $5,000 in revenue. But if you're doing QuickBooks wrong, you're only going to report the $4,500 that was deposited. So when you go to file your taxes, it's going to alert Uncle Sam that you did not claim all of your income. Well, technically you did, but you didn't do it the way he wanted it done. He wanted it done as $5,000 revenue minus $500 in bank fees as an expense. So that's one area that I see very, very frequently that it's not correct in your QuickBooks. Okay. And then let's see, the other thing in QuickBooks could be that you're not reconciling your statements on a monthly basis. And that could be your bank accounts and your business your business credit cards. All of that should be reconciled. So you don't just need to take the bank feed information as truth, because guys, I've seen it so many times where it's duplicated coming in, like there's more than one deposit or more than one expense, or that the bank just completely misses a whole week's worth of transactions. So your books aren't right. You don't know your books are right unless you reconcile. So that needs to be done on a monthly basis as well. Okay. And then maybe as well, you are steady in your QuickBooks. You're spending hours and hours and hours in your QuickBooks and you're YouTubing or you're Googling. So if you're doing those things on a regular, I can almost guarantee you that your QuickBooks isn't right. Okay. So how do you fix that? The first thing I want you to do to fix that is if you are using QuickBooks, and I'm going to talk about something else too, but if you are using QuickBooks and you just have that gut feeling, guys, if you're in business and you're a CEO, I'm going to tell you, because I have one, I have that gut, right? And sometimes that gut tells me something's just not right. And usually when it tells me something's not right, it's not right. Okay. So if you have that feeling, then it's time to reach out to someone who's experienced, who is a professional in business finance and ask them, hey, can you look at my QuickBooks and tell me if there's anything going on? Okay. This is actually one of the very first steps that I do when I take an intro call with a new client. I talk to them, see, what their problems are. And the second step in that is I want to do a diagnostic review of your QuickBooks. If you're using QuickBooks, let's look at it. Let me dive into it. Let me see what's going on. Sometimes I don't find anything wrong. I had a client last week, actually, there was not one thing that I could find wrong in her books. Everything was perfect. And that was great. And I told her that. I'm not a person to go, you know what, your books are a mess. You need to hire me as your bookkeeper. Not happening. I told her straight up, your books are great. Love your books. Who is doing your books? But, and with her, we went on to actually, we're doing some profit planning. I'm not doing her bookkeeping because she doesn't need that service. But guys, if you're using QuickBooks and you have not had someone professionally look at your books, it's time to reach out to somebody and say, can you do a diagnostic review for me? Let them do that for you. Let them help you so that you're not making the mistakes over and over and over again, and then your books are current. Okay. The other thing is, and this is something that I've had to learn the hard way, is that find your zone of genius. What does that mean? Well, for me, my zone of genius is bookkeeping and tax, profit strategy, tax strategy. That's what I'm really good at. That is the God-given talent that I have. Okay. That's what he gave me. He did not give me skills in marketing. He did not give me the skills in web design. He did not give me skills on other things. That is the skills that he gave me. So I tap into my zone of genius. So if your zone of genius is not finance, it's not bookkeeping, and you feel that you're wasting your time, or maybe you're avoiding it altogether, it's time to reach out for somebody to help you because your books tell your story. And if you don't know your story, you can't fix any of the problems that are going on so that you can actually have a very profitable business. Okay. And number 3 is your books are in order. Okay, maybe you're using QuickBooks, maybe you're using something else that I'll talk about in a minute, but you don't have a clue what it means. So you've done everything, you've categorized everything, but you don't understand your financial statements. And one way I will tell you that is you don't know how much money a product is actually making you. That would be one thing. You don't have a budget. So you're recording everything, but you can't create a budget off of it. You have no clue what your break-even point is. Or better yet, you don't have a clue if you have enough cash to make you for the next 3 months, the next 6 months. Okay. And I've told you before, the number one reason that small businesses fail, or all businesses fail, is lack of money. It's not because they didn't have a great product. It's not because they weren't making a profit. It's because they ran out of money. So you need to know what your cash flow is. Also, maybe you're not saving for taxes or saving for future expenses in your business. That's very, very, very important. I tell my clients all the time, you need to save 30% of profit and set it aside for Uncle Sam. It may not be 30%, but I'd rather you have a big bonus when your taxes are done than you say, oh crap, I don't have this much money set aside. Just put it away, right? You can use the other 70% of profit, but 30% of profit has to be set aside for Uncle Sam. So how to fix this is, 1, if your books are in order, you need to print and review your profit and loss statement. That's the very first thing. And don't just print it for last month. Print it for the last 3 months. Maybe print it for last year compared to this year. There's so many things that you can compare so that you know what's going on. Maybe you're spending more money than you spent last year. Maybe you're making more, spending less. You don't know unless you run those reports. Review your cash flow statement. Again, very, very important. You don't want to run out of money. If you don't have any sales for the next 2 months, can your business sustain itself? It's a question. Can you answer it? And then again, reach out to somebody who's experienced that can help you with this. If you don't understand how to read your financial statements, super simple. Say, hey, Stephanie, I've got my books in order, but I have no clue what it means, right? It's kind of like the check engine light that comes on your car, right? So the check engine light could come on my car, and I don't know what's wrong with it. But I bet if I take it down the road to an awesome mechanic that does all of our work, as soon as I pulled in and he looked at it, he did a little review, right? He plugged it up. Oh, this is wrong with your car, and this is how we fix it. Because that is his zone of genius. Same thing for his books. I can tap in, do a diagnostic review of his books, and I could say, these are the things that are wrong, and these are the ways we would fix it. And by the way, now your problem is solved, and here's the outcome, right? Same with my vehicle. He could not only diagnose the problem, he could fix it, and then he could show me what the outcome is going to be for that. All right. So, any questions so far? I'm going to look over here in the comments. Any questions on mistake 1, 2, or 3? Don't see anything. I'm at 20 minutes. I try to keep these 20, 25. All right. So with that, have a couple of things. So guys, if you are not ready to use QuickBooks, and you may not be, and that's okay, right? You have to get to a certain level in business. If you're just starting and you're like, I don't have that extra $50, $60 a month for QuickBooks. I completely understand that. And I don't recommend QuickBooks from everybody right off the bat. There are other ways that you can keep up with your income and your expenses that will provide you with the reports that you need. Okay. And I can help you with that. So the first step in that is for you to reach out to me and say, hey, let's talk. Let's talk about your business. It's free. We're going to talk for about 20, 30 minutes. Let's see where your business is. Let's see where I can help you. And it may be that you need to hire a bookkeeper, or it may be that I tell you you're just not there yet. And here are some other resources that I have for you that you can do your books on your own. And then we can meet like once a quarter or, once every 6 months, and we can look at where you're at, and I can help you to grow your business. So if you can go to calculatorprofits.com/links, and on that page, you will see a link to my freebie. And if you're not watching in the group, you'll see the link to the group as well. I'd love for you to have you in my group where I give you all types of tips and strategies for your business. And then also you will see a link to schedule an intro call. Intro call, once again, 20, 30 minutes, doesn't cost you a dime. And we're just going to sit and chat about your business, where you are with your business finances, and see where I can help you, whether it be me doing your bookkeeping or me finding you a product that can help you. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them here in this feed, or you can always send me a direct message or an email, and I'll be glad to get back with you guys. So thanks again for joining me today as we talk about the top 3 mistakes that I see business owners making with their business finances. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.